if you guys haven't been following on, Miles Bridges a few months ago was, I'm not going to say the words because I don't want to get like demonetized, but DV and CA, you can find out what those abbreviations are for. He was charged by that by the state of Los Angeles, and it was a criminal charge. He was found, he pled no contest, which in a criminal court is the equivalent to a settlement in a civil court, is the best way to say it. And it's basically he pleads no contest, where he's not admitting guilt, but he takes a lesser like like a bargain deal. So he got community service instead of any jail time. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski, and he's on 3 years of probation. Adrian Wojnarowski now puts out that the Charlotte Hornets and restricted free agent forward Miles Bridges are gathering traction in talks on a new deal, and optimism exists that an agreement could come in the near future, sources told ESPN on Friday. The sooner Bridges and the Hornets can reach a deal, the sooner he can seemingly start serving an NBA suspension, which is expected to be handed down for his role in off-season domestic violence case. Bridges, who was accused of attacking his then-girlfriend and the mother of his 2 children back in Los Angeles, as we said, received a sentence of 3 years probation, no jail time, and like 500 hours of community service. Bridges' case remains under investigation by the league, and it's unclear how long of a suspension he has faced. From what we heard, it would be probably for the rest of the season or for a year. But Bridges and his representatives with Clutch Sports have been in consistent contact with the Hornets organization. The sides are working together on Bridges' plans to work with local domestic violence group and community organizations to start reacclimating himself within the Charlotte community of the city. And if a deal can't be reached, Bridges, who remains a restricted free agent, would remain a restricted free agent this upcoming free agency in 2023, which a bunch of teams have ample salary cap, and the Hornets can still match any contract a team would offer him. They just let the qualifying offer expire a few months ago, and we've heard teams like the Lakers, the Pistons, the Spurs were all interested in. And for former reference, the NBA suspended former Charlotte player Jeffrey Taylor for 24 games in 2014 after he pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge of domestic violence. Bridges was a cornerstone player for the Hornets, or thought as, and he's only 24. He averaged 20 points last year, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And before this summer, as a restricted free agent, Bridges was believed to be on the verge of signing a $100 million plus offer sheet that Charlotte was going to match regardless of how much it cost. But obviously this arrest charges all changed the outcome of that, and he's been sitting at home. And the Hornets have been 8-24 since the start of this season, and they've had a bunch of injuries, but we know Bridges accepted this punishment and the conviction without formally admitting guilt in the case by taking a no contest charge. But we'll see what ends up happening, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think of Miles Bridges and everything happening? How much money do you think he's going to get? I assume if they do a deal right here, the first year is no money, and then all the money starts to happen next year when he can actually play. I think Trevor Bauer, as an example, is a good way because he went to arbitration. He's been suspended. So I wonder if they'll give Miles Bridges some time served. And he was a high-profile case in California, and all this, he was in the media. So I think the NBA will give him maybe a full season, and then he'll go to arbitration, and they'll be like, okay, you're suspended for the rest of this year, and you're suspended for the first 10 games of next year. I just think this will be something, if you look at how Trevor Bauer is going with the MLB, and then you look at what happened with Deshaun Watson, I feel like they're just going to try to go overboard, and then you appeal, and then you come up with a compromise, so then the NBA can save face with the public and PR and just be like, hey, we did what we wanted, but then we took into appeal, so now they're going to be like, oh, we had to come up with a compromise, and it wasn't our fault. We had to go to a mediator who was like a non-partial arbitrator, and that'll be interesting to see how that all, how it goes, because